Imagine you wake up one day and your phone says no service. Your Instagram, your email accounts, and your bank accounts are being taken over by a malicious user. Well, congratulations, you've been SIM swapped, and this is why you deserved it. So what is SIM swapping? SIM swapping is the malicious act of calling a cellular service like a Verizon or a Sprint or T-Mobile. They'll call and say that they need their SIM card replaced to their new phone. And the representative on the other line will ask a couple questions like their name, date of birth, where they're from. That way they can properly authenticate that it's truly them. This allows them to gain access to your text messages, your Instagram and Facebook accounts, and even your call. So if someone tries to call you, they're really calling the malicious user. This means that if you have a 2FA linked to your phone number, well, if you're SIM swapped, they're just going to request the code, and the code is not going to you. It's going to go to the malicious user. So how do they do it, you may ask? Well, it's quite easy actually. All they need to do is get all of your information, including your name, date of birth, where you live, maybe. They will combine all this together and make a tailored list of you. So that way, whenever the representative at T-Mobile or Verizon or wherever your cellular company is at, they can just answer these questions based off the information they gained online. From there, they can take over your accounts, take over your passwords, and even impersonate you by texting other family members and also getting information from them because they think that they're texting you. So if they can successfully social engineer their way into your account through the means of your identity online, well then you've been SIM swapped. Now this can happen to anybody, low profile and even high profile contacts. Now the low profile targets like the ones that work 9 to 5s or just the ones like me and you, these are the victims that they try to go after because a lot of these people share a lot of information on the internet. Even some high profile targets like Jack Dorsey, the former CEO of Twitter, he got SIM swapped. They were able to have his account for over 20 minutes before they realized that it was a SIM swap. Imagine you, a big CEO, having your account taken over by 20 minutes. It doesn't seem a lot, but in reality, it's everything to the company. Now, how do they actually do it? They can just take your name, email addresses, and anything that is tied to you, and they can use that for leverage for answering the questions to get past the authentication that is used by these cellular services. It's very important that we keep ourselves private online. That way it's much harder for a SIM swapper to actually try to authenticate themselves as us. And even if your account is totally private, they can unfortunately still get into your phone by the means of an insider. This is what we call in the cyber world an insider threat. An insider threat is somebody that works for a company but is also a malicious user within that company. They could be stealing information, or they could be selling information, or just completely sabotaging the information or the data systems that are inside of that company. So a lot of times insiders that work at Verizon or Mint Mobile will have a fee for these malicious users like $15,000, $20,000, and the malicious users will pay this insider threat to conduct the SIM swap. Now, a lot of times this is very, very, very low, and we're finding a lot more companies finding these insider threats. So it's not like it will happen to you, but it can. But most of the time, if they're paying $15,000, it's not going to be for some average Joe like me or you. Now, how do you protect yourself? Make sure your birthdays, your names aren't in your bio of your Instagram or Facebook accounts. Make sure any personal information is not out there. Make sure that you are connected to a Wi-Fi that you can trust. And also make sure that all of your information you do have on your platform is not tied back to you. For example, if you try to make content and you had your name, make sure you don't actually say your full government name. Another thing you can do is not have your two-factor authentication with your phone number. So instead of having your two-factor with your phone number to send a code, you can have your two-factor to get sent to a authenticator app. Now, these authenticator apps are very well protected, and it's really hard for these malicious users to get into an authenticator app because this authenticator app generates these codes, and these codes could be 6-digit, 8-digit, and they change about every 30 seconds. Meaning, even if they got the code, they couldn't use it because they would have to use it within that 30 seconds. And they can't get the code because you need your email to even get into the authenticator app. So unless they take your email, they're not gonna get your account because they're not going to have the code get sent to your phone. The code is going to be on this authenticator app. Now, this should be the number one thing that you should use for 2FA or MFA. You should never use your phone because of SIM swapping. Now, I get it. Sometimes it's very convenient to have a code sent to our phone. I get it. It is convenient. But in terms of your crypto wallets or your bank accounts, maybe you shouldn't have your phone number attached to the MFA. But if it's accounts like you don't really care about, like maybe your social media that doesn't have a big following, or maybe just an app that you just really don't care about, then sure, yes, the phone number could definitely work for that sense. But if it's something that is very crucial in protecting, like for example, again, your credit cards, bank accounts, or anything that has money tied to it and personal value, then definitely stay away from the phone number for authenticating your account. And lastly, another thing you can use so that way you can stay protected is having a PIN on your cellular device company. That way, if they need to make any changes on your account, you have to provide your PIN first before you can even make any changes. And that includes making a new SIM to go to another phone. So even if an unauthorized user had your name, birthday, first pet name, any information that they can get to social engineer their way into your phone, they're gonna have to know your PIN that only you know, and 9 times out of 10, this is what's gonna be the roadblock that stops them ultimately. So this is everything you should know about SIM swapping. Yes, it's very dangerous. Can it happen to you? It can. Does it happen to everybody? No. But for us to stay cyber aware, we have to know about these scams that happen on a daily basis, because people lose millions in SIM swapping. It's a thing that has been around for the past decade, and it will not be going away anytime soon. Now, with that being said, if you have your phone number attached to your Instagram or your bank accounts, change it to the authenticator right now. If you are on your Instagrams or your Facebook and you are just publicly telling all about your information on different videos, you deserve to be SIM swapped. I'm Julian Swain, aka NS, and I'm out.